Ang ating bayan ay parang isang magandang bahay na unting-unting nasisira kasi nadaya tayo sa materyales. Nakurakot ang pondo. Ganyan din ang epekto ng korupsyon. Dumadami ang mahirap, marami ang naapi dahil sa korupsyon. Dati na tayong masipag, dati na tayong matyaga, pero lagi tayong dinadaya. Korupsyon ang problema, kahirapan ang resulta. Di pa tapos ang laban, ipagpapatuloy ko.
Days and months have passed. One State of the Nation address has already been delivered. Many controversies and challenges has been met by the Aquino administration. But what has been the achievements of the Aquino administration? What are the significant milestones of the present administration and its promise to crush corruption and end poverty? Let us look back and see the accomplishments of the Aquino administration and examine the change that President Benigno Aquino III has promised to fulfill. The 2010 presidential elections has so far been the most crucial elections in Philippine history. The clamor for change is the utmost cry of the Filipinos, tired and numb of a government who continues to turn a blind eye and denies its people of justice. But one candidate stood above all else, bearing the name of the champions of democracy, seeking to be the new face of change. Benigno Noynoy Aquino III ran for presidency, promising a new hope for the Philippines. On Benigno Aquino III's presidential campaign, the tagline of "Kung walang korap, walang mahirap" has caught the attention of an indifferent populace that has become numb of the empty promises and the continued unheard clamor of the people from the previous administration. His campaign has been vigorous, stressing on changing the Philippines by the promise of uplifting the lives of the Filipino people, focusing on stamping out corruption that has been draining the treasury of the country. And finally, May of 2010, the Filipino people laid their votes for the next president who they look forward to perform beyond expectations and will finally hear their clamor for change. Benigno Noynoy S. Aquino III won the presidential elections, the son of Senator Ninoy Aquino and President Cory Aquino, the champions of democracy. President Benigno Aquino III promised on his inaugural speech that his campaign slogan, "Walang korap, walang mahirap," is not a mere slogan, but the defining principle that will serve as the foundation of the Aquino administration. That his administration will uplift the Philippines from poverty through honest and effective governance.
Sigaw natin noong kampanya, "Kung walang korap, walang mahirap." Hindi lamang ito pang slogan o pang poster. Ito ang mga prinsipyong tinatayuan at nagsisilbing batayan ng ating administrasyon.
And so President Benigno Aquino III laid out his vision for the country, focusing on his tuwid na daan principle by pulling out corrupt officials to clean the government's bureaucracy. He promised as well in his inaugural speech that good governance will be felt by the Filipinos by reawakening their sense of right and wrong through the living examples of public officials. Presidential Communications Operations Office Secretary Sonny Coloma said that the first achievement of the Aquino administration is gaining back the trust of the Filipino people to our government.
Kaya sa unang taon po, ang masasabi ko po ngayon, ang pinakamahalagang naganap ay unang-una na panumbalik po natin yung pagtitiwala ng ating mga mamamayan sa kanilang pamahalaan sa pamagitan ng good governance o yung palagi ang sinasabi ng Pangulo na daang matuwid.
This accomplishment was started by the Aquino administration through the impeachment case against former Ombudsman Merceditas Gutierrez at the House of Congress led by the President's allies. President Benigno Aquino III has not forgotten as well to give recognition due to the right people. Heidi Mendoza's appointment as the new director of the Commission on Audit has earned the administration approval from the Filipino people. Because of the staunch campaign of the Aquino administration to stamp out corruption through his government thrust of DAANGMATUWID, trust for the government has been brought back through the efforts of the administration. The second accomplishment of the Aquino administration is it has set the fiscal house in order for any future gains of the administration to be sustainable and on solid footing. This was seen through the administration's zero-based reform budget. Through this approach, the Aquino administration was able to improve its financial management and was able to see the transparency of the public sector's projects. President Aquino's signing of the Government-Owned or Controlled Corporations Act of 2011 that aims to restructure the operations of the GOCCs is also the administration's concrete step in stamping out corruption and curbing unnecessary spending. Because of all these efforts, the international community saw how committed the Aquino administration is in changing the Philippines and improving the country's investment climate. Bert Hoffman, the World Bank's country director for the Philippines, said that they were encouraged by the Aquino administration's efforts to address the problems in the Philippines such as social protection and poverty, and is committed in supporting the government's programs through project financing or guarantees. The Philippines' credit rating has also increased. According to Budget and Management Secretary Florencio B. Abad, the government's credit rating has increased by Moody's Investor Service as well as Standards & Poor's. According to Abad, this is a recognition of the reforms that the Aquino administration has initiated, particularly in the areas of governance and fiscal management. While Moody's Investor Service said that because of the Aquino administration's firm fiscal restraint, the government has proven its credibility and improved prospects for reform.
Dahil po dyan, yung po mga international credit rating agencies katulad ng Fitch, Standard & Poor's at saka Moody's, binabaan po, tinaasan po yung rating ng Pilipinas. No? Yung ating pong credit rating ay tumaas. No? Dahil nga po, palagi tayong nasa deficit, palagi po tayong nangungutang. No? Mahalaga po yung pagtaas ng ating credit rating. Dahil sa pagtaas ng ating credit rating, napahaba po natin yung maturities ng ating mga pagkakautang.
The third accomplishment of the Aquino administration is that it was able to widen its inclusiveness on the Conditional Cash Transfer Program, or the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, aimed to increase the social protection for the poor. The Aquino administration has so far allotted 21 billion pesos in the General Appropriations Act, a 7,000% increase from the allotted amount of the previous administration. So far, the Department of Social Welfare and Development has covered 2.2 million beneficiary families from June 2011. Another definitive accomplishment of the Aquino administration is its increased allocation of the 2011 national budget for social services of 34.09%. Aside from allotting more for social services, economic accomplishments has also been achieved by the Aquino administration, one of which is the highest gross domestic product growth of 7.6%, achieved through fiscal management, increased collection of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, and conscious spending of the government. The agricultural sector has also improved, with a growth of 4.2% in the first quarter from its 1.8% slump in the first quarter of 2010. The average unemployment rate dropped from 7.6% last year to 7.3% in the first 2 quarters of 2011. The Aquino administration's peace efforts has also been remarkable in order to attain the trust of the Filipino people back to its government. The release of the Morong 43, the amnesty for rebel soldiers, and the resumption of peace talks are the remarkable efforts of the government to bring peace and security to the country. Looking at the Aquino administration's accomplishments, it has succeeded in setting the government's fiscal house in order for the government to sustain its programs and set it on solid footing.
Sa aspect ng economic growth, noong pong buong taon ng 2010, half of which was already under the new Aquino administration, nakapagtala po ang ating bansa ng pinakamataas na GDP growth of 7.6%. Pinakamataas po yan sa loob ng 3 dekada, kung di ako nagkakamali. At yung pong economic growth na yan, na-achieve din po sa pamagitan ng mahusay na fiscal management.
According to Sonny Coloma, Secretary of the Presidential Communications Office, because of the government's fiscal management, it was able to save 20 billion pesos, which funded public services such as the Conditional Cash Transfer Program.
When the Aquino administration assumed office, marami pong mga pagkakautang na kaagad na magmamature within the next 2 to 3 years. Kumbaga po sa, halimbawa, may utang po tayo sa bangko, no? Na-restructure po natin yan, napahaba natin yung maturities ng ating pagkakautang para hindi naman po tayo ma-pressure. Kasi po yung bansa o yung household o yung pamilya o yung taong nangungutang, kapag under pressure ka, pwede kang singilin ng mas mataas na interest dahil kailangan mo yung pera. Pero dahil nga po napaganda natin yung ating fiscal management, hinabaan yung maturities na wala po yung pressure sa atin, bumaba din yung interest rate. At dahil sa pagbaba ng interest rate na binabayad sa mga pagkakautang, nakapagtipid po tayo. Yung pong natipid natin, na-channel po sa mga public services. Yung pong natipid, ang tinataya pong halaga nun ay almost 20 billion, 20 billion pesos, which translates to the amount that we have allocated for the conditional cash transfers, yung pagbigay po ng tulong sa mga mahihirap.
Together with the administration's firm fiscal management and its effort to stamp out corruption, the credit rating of the Aquino administration has increased. The donor community as well has affirmed its commitment to support the Aquino administration through financial assistance or guarantees. And most importantly, the Aquino administration was able to bring back the Filipino people's trust in government. The successful launching of Pilipinas Natin has proved that the Filipino people is ready and willing to rally behind the Aquino administration to change the Philippines. The accomplishments of the Aquino administration has truly been essential in order to gain the people's trust once more. His thrust of DAANGMATUWID has been successful and will continue to light the once dark path that the Philippines has been walking for so long. For GNN Special Report, I'm Maan Maligali.